I'm Xabier Guitián. I'm from INDITEX. I'm responsible for the global infrastructure at INDITEX. And let's start first talking about us. I don't know if most of you know what INDITEX is, but I'm pretty sure you know the clothing company that's called Zara. So we are a mother company that actually owns several brands: Zara, Massimo Dutti, Stradivarius, Oysho, and so on. So we are a company, worldwide company that had like 7,000 stores around the world and kind of different strategies that we need to do with infrastructure for different parts. So let's talk about Ceph. So what's archive? For us, something that it actually doesn't get lost in the time, that actually doesn't get erased by accident, that you can get out that object whenever you need it for like ransom and any other kind of hiccups that you have. So for us, what is Ceph archive zone? There is something that is another cluster that has the data that can be deleted, that has some evolution about what having other clusters, that use cheap and low performance because we don't need a lot of performance on that cluster, and that can grow a lot. That we use typical big disks to do that, and is usually separated, isolated, just for kind of these ransomware events, these different kind of situations that you need to go to a backup, because backing up Ceph is not really easy. So our workload in general in this kind of cluster, the regular one actually goes ups and down. There's deletes, there's new updates. But in archive zone, it actually goes up. You never deleted anything. That's history of the different versions of the different objects that you have. So it actually goes up, up, up. And I'm now going to hand it to my colleague that's going to talk about our experience that we have with archive zone over the couple of years and actually say what do we expect about it.
Thanks, Xavi. Well, my name is Ismael. I work like system architecture. So this is the most typical architecture in our company. We have multi-sign in every environment. Doesn't mind if I develop or production. This is why the reason for have this is because we want to be sure that the upgrade will be safe for us in production environment. So every environment is use flash disk with replicate 3. And we choose production environment to give this functionality. They give the archive zone to the production environment. So we choose in the moment to get the functionality, we have Ceph Quincy 17, and we have the environment with 715 million of objects. So this was a real challenge for us because it's a cluster with a lot of objects. So we want meet 3 requirements. We want 4 times the size of the current infrastructure of score outside the data center because we want archive the data. So if something wrong happening in primary or secondary data center, we have problems. So this is the reason to go to extract the data. And we want both the less number of servers, so we won't keep a high density per node. Yeah, so for this, we think that the better solution is bring the information to headquarters and replicate the information in Zone 1 and Zone 2, and we have 55 milliseconds per latency. So with all information, we bought this machine, 8 servers with 12 disks for data, 1 disk NVMe for DB. This was my first mistake. 2 disks for operating system and 4 NICs to create subbonding, public network, and cluster network. Yeah, this is the overview. The cluster was deployed using Ceph ADM. This is the more relevant, I think, DOSD part and Rados gateway. In the first part, we split the DB disk in 12 parts, the same number than disk. And the red way we put for instances. Okay. This part where we create the profile, we choose for and chi because for k equal 4 and m equal 2, because we think that is the most balanced configuration between performance and resilient. The next command was create the pool, but I would like stop here because I create a big pool with number 32 for PG, second one. The rest pool was the non-SE and index meta. So, and I don't know if you're familiar with multi-site configuration, but it's the same, but when you need to create the archive on, the only thing that you need to execute in the end of the command is tire type equal archive. In this moment, we update the primary zone, and the content start to download. Okay. First problem. Yeah, I know. As mentioned before, we worked with flash disk, so we thought this is not a problem. I can fix it in a couple days. I don't know. The reality is more fuck. So we are increasing 34 PGs per month because we have a lot of I/O download content from primary zone. Yeah, big mistake. Second problem. We found a bug in a published issue. So when we started to see the double object in archive zone than in primary zone. So my first thought was, OK, the archive works. Something is deleted content in primary zone. I have the old version. But it's a little right that always every bucket have the double object that's in primary zone. So the trackers say that you will have the same version in archive zone that the number of objects that the number of objects in zone. So second problem, read from to zone. Oops. And the last one, and we started to see restart in EOSD in a method collection list operation. So we thought that we have a lot of I/O because we are download the content from those sites, from two sites, and PG scale up, and then I say, OK, I can increase the number of the timeout. Yeah, this is show me another problem. I have a problem in the DB side because I have 153 gigabytes per DB. This is less than expected. So let's read what is the documentation. For our retrieval workload, it recommended that the block DB be at least 4% of the block size because retrieval makes use of block DB to store metadata. How much we do? We have 0.83. Yes. So in this moment, we remove all relative to archive zone, start again, thinking again, and we detect 3 points. Wrong hardware choice because we thought all inside, not in DB. Read from all zone was another mistake, I think, because it's a complex configuration, multi-site, more archive zone, and board with a bad number of PGs. So in the middle of the process, we update to next release. And in this time, only read from primary zone, because keep it simple. It's more easy. So the only change that we did was change the disk, insert two new. The only problem with this disk is that it's rate intensive, but at the moment we're fine. And the the spec of OSD is a little different because we have two service name, because we dedicate the first view for the first disk and the second service name for the rest of disk. Then was the same, except two things. The number of PGs. I recommend use the Ceph calculator, please. And the last one, when we create the zone, sync from all zone equal false. Yes. So in this moment, we have the Ceph cluster running, up, everything OK. So we need to keep the order. We have two methods, proactive and reactive. Proactive is the use a lifecycle policy. And reactive use tags. Let me start with the policy. This is the default policy that we create when the user requests a new bucket. Because when the sorry, I need some water. Because when the user needs a new bucket, we insert this default policy. We keep the content in the archive zone 10 years at the moment that happened. And the other rule is clean the multi-part object in the primary zone. And we save thanks. And we save the content. We save 3 versions more and the current version. The other thing that we do is create a small tag set, because sometimes it's better open a new chat with the internal team. Hey, buddy, this bucket is used, because you can clean the garbage. And what happened when that bucket is not necessary or was deleted? So the bucket will be deleted in the primary zone, and we'll be saying the archive zone something like that. Bucket name, dash, delete, string. So I think that this was a good approach, because you can create the same bucket and keep the content. So the only thing that you need is delete in the archive zone if you need to remove using the Rados gateway delete bucket and remove. Anyway. So we have 3 clusters working alone but working together. So our strategy is consolidate all metrics in a single point. For this reason, the retention in the file cluster is small for us, because we prefer keep the metrics 1 year. And to create alert, because we need make queries using different sources of data. So this is the 5 kind of metrics that you are using currently. Ceph manager. Out of the box, we have Ceph manager, Ceph exporter to retrieve metrics relative to Rados gateway for, I don't know, request per second, something to show to the user, and the exporter to view how is the state of the machine that gives service of Ceph. And we have 2 additional metrics that we consider really important for us. The first one is exporter of Postman, because as you know, Ceph running containers. So for us, it's really important to have an extra level of information. And the second one is Rados Gateway Exporter. Is a project written in Python that they use the API REST of Rados Gateway to export the same information that you have in Rados Gateway stats bucket or start user and export like metric exporter. So we are using Victoria metrics to agent to retrieve this information, and we have a point in we always create a label to identify cluster. So you see we have the label cluster and environment. Why? Because when we need to create an alert, we need to be sure if it's important for us. No, obviously, if the environment is production, for us it's more urgent than development, for example. Then what will be the future? I think that multi-sizing policy will be the best future because currently we are saving a lot of garbage in archive. Because sometimes we execute performance testing in production zones, and we know that we are to load content that we can avoid with multi-sizing policy. Yeah, and I expected go to next release, squeeze in our case. And yeah, thank you for listening. This is all.
Do you have any questions? Sorry, we cannot hear you.
She's asking if the number of PGs on the index pools for the Rails gateway is not a little bit undersized with only 40 or 42 that was undersized. Look at index ones.
So I trust in Ceph in Ceph documentation to set these values. Yeah.
Matt?
Could you go into a bit more of the source of duplicate objects in the workflows?
With the issue, with GitHub issue, the duplicate objects. See if you could go over.
So, okay, what? Sorry.
The issue with GitHub duplicated objects that they have.
Yeah, I think that was solved, but I won't keep a void in the future. It was simple to keep simple. Yeah, but I know that I think that is solved. Yeah, I know, Matt.
Go ahead.
You, as being the pioneers for using the Apex, which benefit do you gain in the daily operations to showcase to others why they should be investing into Apex as well?
I think that when we actually started investing in ArchiveZone, we thought that we needed something to eliminate these accidental removes from this kind of S3 buckets. And we know our developers are kind of, I don't know, crazy sometimes, and we use it only to the very first project that we used Ceph was to store bills that were signed by local governments that weren't actually repeatable. So we couldn't lose that because after, if the client needed that bill to actually do some kind of local business, we needed to fulfill that. So we were kind of scared because there was no easy way to actually back up Ceph. We went up and about, and there was no solution to that. So we wanted to do something different. Hence, we actually started to invest in ArchiveZone because it was the best approach from our perspective. So if someone actually deleted the object, it's going to be somewhere else. So we can get that object back, and the user can have his bill. Or that was the very beginning. Then we started using for a lot of other things. But the first one was billing, so kind of touchy subject. Any other questions? So thank you. I think we ended up sooner, but thanks.
Thanks.